I think that it's very important to trust in the people that you have around you, in yourself, and also in the energy of the moment. If you don't trust in yourself, nobody will. You have to trust.
Most People Die on Sundays may be the quirkiest film you see this year, or any year. Directed and starring Iair Said, and asking big questions like, when ordinary, not extraordinary people die, what happens to those of us who stay here on Earth without them? Funny, outrageous, surprising, and utterly unique, Most People Die on Sundays has a deadpan tone that recalls the early films of Jim Jarmusch. We follow the story of our protagonist, David, as he returns home to Argentina to attend the funeral of his uncle. This is the story about how people survive despite a pain that will transform their lives forever. Said has a sad sack quality of classic screen comics like Buster Keaton and Jacques Tati, and the rest of the cast plays off of Said perfectly. A sensation when it premiered at the acid section of Cannes, Most People Die on Sundays is a comic gem that is truly worth searching out. Join us for a conversation with filmmaker Iair Said on Inside the Art House, starting now.
Hi, I'm Greg Lumley.
And I'm Raphael Sparge.
And welcome to another episode of Inside the Art House. Today we're joined by Iair Said. He's the director of Most People Die on Sundays. Thank you for joining us, Iair.
Thank you. Hi, how are you?
Good. And you're in Argentina now?
Yes, I'm in Buenos Aires. Villa Crespo is my town.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Again, we enjoyed the film. It's funny. It's a little, cringe-worthy, and it starts with a very difficult scene in terms of establishing the character which you play, and you're also directing yourself. I'm curious about starting the film that way, and do you think you could have started the film that way if it was an actor in the role and you were asking them to introduce themselves to the audience in this manner?
That scene is very polemic because there was some producer that told me we hate that scene, and there was another producer that told me if you don't start with that scene, I quit the money. So I think that it's very particular because there's a naked body of a fat boy, and the people and the public, they usually don't used to see that kind of bodies in films. So I think that's why it's very has a very impact in the people, the first scene.
Just to explain the first scene, I mean, you're in a hotel room, you're with a lover who's locked themselves in the bathroom, you're, partially clothed, and you're screaming and yelling and crying, and you throw yourself on the floor, and it's a very striking way, it's a powerful way to start the movie.
It's powerful, and it's the last moment that we can see the character explosive and with a lot of strong. Then he become another kind of way and mood. So for me it was important that these two moods has to be very different, and important for me to show a real body or a real man or a body with a fat body, because I think that that scene it would be made by Timothée Chalamet or Leonardo DiCaprio. The people doesn't say wow, it's a lot, and that was a game that I wanted to play with the public.
It works amazingly well, and I understand that the inspiration for the film, well, at least writing the film, was the death of your own father.
Yes, it was a mix, because I wrote the script 3 years before my father died, but he was sick, so I was preparing myself for that moment. I think I wrote it in 2015, and my father died in 2018. So for me, it was very important to talk about the bureaucracy of the dead and bureaucracy of the sick people. I mean, because when you have to cross that kind of experiences, you know that you have to be attentive to a lot of things. and at the same time you are crying and you are suffering like the last goodbye, but at the same time you have to call to the credit card, please. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that you have to pay attention. So it was weird for me that nobody talks about it in a movie. I mean, in the life, of course, but in movies,
Even
neither.
in life, people don't talk about it. Now that I think
No.
Yeah, I mean the juggle.
I mean, I just buried my father a few months ago, and you're right. It's like the first thing that happened was I couldn't think about the death of my father and losing my father. I had to think, calling the mortuary, what day was the funeral going to happen,
Right.
with family coming in and asking me, can we fly in this day and leave that day? And I'm like, I don't know. I haven't gotten answers.
The next week you have to go to working. I mean, it's weird because you are crying inside and you have to keep going with your life and pay things, and nobody's waiting for your sadness.
Right.
Yeah.
You throw yourself into details and all kinds of things, and then it slowly bubbles up.
Yeah.
But no, it's very real. And you're right. And people don't talk about it, and people don't portray it that way. I mean, in movies, it's usually all of a sudden you're at the graveside, and it's this big sad scene.
Right.
Kind of. And that's the film, I guess, in some respects. It's that tone of saying, I'm going to show you something more. It's a film, so we expect it to be like film, but it's really more real life, and real life is very complicated.
You also the character that you wrote, which you play so beautifully, but the character is very mature, very sort of self-involved, very thinking about himself, and takes this journey. But there's these connections with the family are so deep. Your relationship with your mother is incredible, and those scenes are just beautiful. This tone of being kind of like funny and sad and sort of sweet and then sour, and this sort of sense of kind of this mix of being both things at the same time. I find that incredible that you were able to pull that off. And how did you do that? How did you find that? Is that just the way you think?
Well, first of all, I'm Jewish, so it's easy for us to have all that things in the same.
It comes in the genes. I understand.
Yes. So.
But you have to portray that to your actors as well. I mean, how do it must be difficult. How to tell them what tone you want to establish in a given scene.
Well, Rita Cortese is a very famous here actress.
She's
astounding. She's just astounding. She's so great.
Wild Tales. Do you remember Wild Tales? It was like a very, very popular film here. It was nominated for the Oscars, and she was one of the characters of the movie. And I can show the pictures. She's very different at that moment. And now, as Jewish mother, we never had rehearsals between us. We started to. I sent her the movie with a cup of chocolates, and then later, like 3 years before the movie was shooting, and we become all the Sundays, or between 15 days or in the weekends, to meet each other and talk and think together about the movie, about the life, about the relation between the son and mother, or daughter and mothers. And it was like more human connection, more than actoring.
Yes. You weren't talking. You weren't running lines, right? You were talking about the relationship.
So we made like a very big and nice relation. I mean, we shoot like 2 years ago, and yesterday I was talking with her like 2 hours on the phone. I mean, she's like now my real mother. And it was, I think that in the casting, it was very important for me that the people, that the actresses understand the kind of humor, the kind of sadness of the characters, and the kind of tragedy and comedy. I mean that's life. And it's no difficult for me to transmit that, because the life, if you are, like you say, Greg, you are crying your father and calling the morgue. So it's everything at the same time, and it's funny. I mean, if you're crying, and,
it's absurd.
And at the same time,
Well, you would if you didn't laugh, you would cry.
Yes, and at the same time you have to cook in the something to eat, and you are crying, and I mean, if you see that from outside, it's funny.
It can be. It can be, and you get that.
Yes.
You definitely get that in this film.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about the opening scene, but let's show another clip from the film. This is a clip from when you first you're coming home, to visit the family, coming back for Passover, as it may be, and greeting your sister at the airport.
Estoy transpirado y con mal aliento.
¿Cómo viajaste? ¿Estás más flaco?
Estoy obeso, tengo mal humor, no dormí nada.
¿Tan mal el viaje? Dame la valija.
No, yo la llevo.
¿Tenés olor a mamá?
Sí, me puse ese perfume.
Está fresco, ¿eh?
Me olvidé la campera, no la traje.
Pues todo mal, parece.
Por lo menos no llegué de noche. Me muero de la angustia. Llegar de noche a una ciudad y no entender dónde estoy.
Hay que ir a pagar primero.
¿Cuánto salió?
Carísimo, por 15 minutos.
It's great because it just feels like family. It's just awful and funny and quirky and it just like hurts so good. I don't know how to explain it. You know,
Right, and I mean, deadpan humor perhaps, but I'm not even sure that that's really it's really kind of a unique comic tone that you've established with the film.
I'm here. I am casting director also, so it was for me very important the nature in the acting. So, for example, the actress Juliana, who is my sister, she's not a real actress. She's a singer. She's a very popular singer here. Like you have to watch in the scenarios. Like she's like a kind of Madonna. But so very different energy. She's one of the jury of The Voice here, for example. So you can imagine, and we are very close friends. And it was very important for me to that kind of natural stuff, that natural relation. And the other actors there are not really actors. They are people that I know from somewhere, and I try to act with them because I hope that the natural things become there, like the magic is there, like mix and real actors with no actors. So it was very important for me. The dialogues are respect very well. I mean, there's no improvisation in the movie.
Oh, wow.
So,
I would have assumed that there would have been. I thought maybe I was going to ask if it was very loosely scripted, but then structured around scenes, and then you let it emerge. But you're saying
there is just one moment that we improvising. It was when I get laughed in Passover.
Yeah, we'll look at that in a second. But that's it. So that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was very tightly scripted and not necessarily improvisational.
Should we look at that clip?
Yeah, let's take a look at that
so
one.
Here's the clip
we see
from the Passover scene with an improvised moment amidst the scripted scenario.
Te lo escondes vos, así aprovechas y conoces la casa.
Ahora la parte favorita de todos.
Sí, comer.
A comer. Muy bien. ¿Será que le sirvo a los chicos y si sobra
Todo tiene harina de matzah. No. Que es filter fish, no.
Ponele un par de quipes
Yo me voy a inmolar con este vino.
¿La berenjena quién la hizo, vos o la compraste?
La compré.
¿Me pasás la ensalada esa, Eli?
¿Querés de lechuga y tomate?
¿Quién va a querer
Quiero lechuga y tomate.
Toma, tía.
la favorita de Luca.
Está bárbaro todo, tía. Está muy rico todo.
Le puse harina común. Si alguien respeta, bueno, no lo come.
¿Y hay uno era pescado?
¿Cómo? ¿Es de pescado? ¿De qué, a qué
Ya
va a
sé,
tener?
ponele del otro lado. No sé, pero tiene olor.
El pescado.
Déjalo acá porque te digo que tiene muy buen aspecto.
¿Y de
¿Vos
sabor?
respetas?
Yo los respeto mucho. Sí.
No, digo la harina.
Desde chiquita.
Porque tiene harina de la otra.
No, ya sé. No, yo no respeto.
Acá nadie respeta.
¿Quién
demasiado.
respeta?
El respeto es comerlo.
Dale agua, dale un poco de...
Dame jugo, algo.
Se nos va.
Traga.
Respira hondo, David.
Toma,
Llegó.
gracias.
Toma media, dije, David.
¿Estás bien? Baruch Hashem.
Such a sweet moment. It's so great that you're able to save that.
For me, it was very important. I filmed my real family in Passover, and I sent to the actors. The main character of the scene is Antonia Segers. She's a Chilean actress, and she made all the stuff. And then I asked to the DOP that we will eat like a real family, and then I will see what happened. My favorite moment of the movie. If the movie is just the Passover dinner, for me it's fine.
Did you shoot that scene with multiple cameras? Because there's some cutting back and forth and reaction shots. Was that shot with multiple cameras?
No,
Or
just one, and we get funny again in another moment.
so to get
for
get the reaction shots of people laughing. Okay.
Yes, but not it was not thinking. It was like we are tired. I don't know. We were I don't know, funny in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a kind of a sort of just the intimacy of a family is what it feels like.
Yeah, it's
around the
loose,
table.
it's real.
Yeah.
Intimate.
I mean, so you say you're a casting director, you're a documentarian, and now you're a writer and a director. And so has this been a sort of a progression for you of steps? Is this sort of what you imagined that you wanted to be doing?
The arc of your career.
Yeah.
I don't know. I started. I became director because I hadn't worked as actor. My first short film, it was based in a dog who bit me, and I had to vaccine myself like 9 days, and I wrote the first short film. I was working on other stuff like secretary in a place, and a friend of mine, my producer, told me, I can produce your short film. Like, what do you need? No, but I am not a director. She told me, it's easy. Like, you have a voice. Like, okay, what do you need? And it cost me like $150. It was a lot of money for me in that moment because I was like 22 years old.
Yeah.
And I won with that short film like a lot of prizes. I won like $25,000 in Abu Dhabi, for example. It was yes, a very nice beginning. So,
Yeah, it was encouraging, yes, or dangerous.
But
I don't
then-
know, depending on how you would look at it.
Yes, but I think that being the director is like you have something to say and you don't know another way to do it. So
Yeah.
that's why I made short films and then documentary, and I am casting director here. I worked for a lot of movies in Hollywood. For example, one from Steven Spielberg called West Side Story. We had to look for Argentinian people or Latin people, and it's a mix. I don't know if you saw like Society of Snow.
Yes.
From Bayona.
Right.
I am the casting director of that movie, for example. It's like a mix of things that retroaliments yourself. I don't know how to say.
Well, casting is super important, and obviously it's a little bit of a controversy now because the Academy does not have a branch for casting directors, and the Directors Guild is very opposed in many case, the director's branch doesn't want it to happen because they, anyway.
they feel that they've made the decision. Right?
Yeah, I make the decision, not the casting director, and yet,
I can tell you as an actor, because I'm an actor, is that the casting director is the gatekeeper, and you don't get past him or her unless they say yes. So, the director makes the final decision, but it's the casting director that does all the heavy lifting to kind of really sort through things and find the gems or the gems that are right for that project, right?
Yes, it's a very important role for me in the cinema.
But it gives you a strong sense of what you like, what what's right, what's not right.
Yeah, I guess if you,
skill.
yeah, exactly. It's just so vital. I'm also thinking of the film Holy Spider, where the casting director ends up becoming the lead actress in the film, and now she's got some other films coming out. She's got a film that she directs and acts in.
And she was a casting director.
She was a casting. That's right. She started.
This is a theme. This is like you're starting a trend.
From now on, our podcast interviews will only be with casting directors.
So I mean, your ability to be able to direct a scene and or be in a scene and just do nothing is really striking. And to trust that that's enough.
I don't know another way.
It's very, that's very unusual, though. I mean, you've watched enough films, I'm sure, to know. I mean, it's easy to kind of want to do too much or to want to over-explain, and you just sit with it, and it's uncomfortable, it's real, it's funny, but I don't know. Tell me about how you don't know another way. Tell me how you came by that, I guess.
I think that it's very important to trust in the people that you have around you, and also in yourself, and also in the energy of the moment. As casting director, my work is like squeeze the actor on with what he brings. So I think that as director is the same. I have to squeeze everything that I have in front of myself. If I have a nice DOP, I can work with him. If I have a child there that he wants to go sleeping, I can play with that. And also if I have a nervous actress that doesn't know the lines, I can play with that, because I work with I have in the present, and it's important for me trust in that. Being what had to be. I mean, okay, for something is like Jeffrey Rush, I think in Shakespeare in Love, she used to use a phrase called how to, I don't know, it's a mystery.
It's a mystery, right, great line.
It's a mystery.
Yeah. How does it happen? It's a mystery, right.
Yes, so for me, we have to trust. I mean, it's a movie, it's film, it's cinema. I'm not a doctor. I mean, there's something that could be like better in these days and something worse in another day. I mean, I have to trust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what comes through.
I mean, I didn't study. I didn't study in the university. I'm not academic boy, and I'm not. I'm not perfectionist. I don't know how to say. I mean,
perfectionist.
I trust in my intuition and in the people that I choose.
That's really clear. It's interesting because there are people that go to film school and they learn all the right things to do, and I think they can get in their head and they just kind of overthink it. And what you're saying is that you have a sort of an intuition and a sense of it, and you let it land, you let it play.
Yes.
And that works for some people. They absorb so many influences, and they know what they speak a language of cinema that they've learned from other masters, and they weave it together into their own thing. And that works for them.
No, there are different ways. There's not one better than the other.
That's right.
I mean, yes.
That's right. But it's very authentic, I want to say, and organic to you, and it works so well.
Well, for me, the most important thing is like this movie and all my movies are very authentic and are very genuine in what I want to tell. So that's my funniest moment. And when I say, okay, there I am. I mean, that was I wanted to tell, and I wanted to try. Then, of course, it's not the best movie shooting or the best actress in the world or the best story, but it's mine and I love it. So it's really important for me.
No, it's great. But did the producer who threatened you to pull money did they come round? I guess how did they?
Yeah, after it started winning prizes.
No, they were very easy for me. I didn't have to block any scene from the script. I think that just one. I have a lot of friends here as an actor, and I ask a lot of favors. For example, the airplane that you say in the first scene that you showed me, it was for free.
Oh, the airplane! Oh, the airplane itself.
The airplane, it was for free.
That's fantastic.
So, no.
Nice to have friends with planes. Yeah.
Well, not my friend. A friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. Okay. So, I mean, I want that movie, and I would work a lot for get all that I want for it. And I paid my ticket to Italy. I mean, it was like a lot of work from all the parts. Fortunately, I had a very good production company. It was like Camposcine, Diego Lerman, Nicolás Abruch, and Patagonic, and people around the world, like Disparte from Italy, and I won San Sebastian prize and 2023, I think, or 20. Yes, from WIP, like a work in progress prize, and I won like a co-production with Spain and also with Switzerland. My gosh, it was like a big.
So you're able to bring a lot of partners in, sort of financial partners, etc.,
yes.
to be able to make it work. Yeah.
But not a lot of money, a lot of partners.
Partners, I understand. Right.
Yes.
What is the independent filmmaking scene like in Argentina? How is it? I guess how's it
now?
Doing? Yeah, now.
No, now we are in a very terrific moment that we don't have like money from the state, and there's not. I mean, we have
the Prime Minister of Argentina has famously introduced the whole chainsaw thing, which is
of course, which
sadly made it here to the United States.
Yes,
as well.
No, right, yeah, it seems
the
to be
president.
Yes. Forgive me, yes.
But yes, it's the worst moment for us since that I remember for the people from the industry. I mean, we work with Netflix, Amazon, or that kind of platform. But if you are like just an author and you need the money from the state, it's not possible in this moment.
It's bad right now. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so even more remarkable that you're able to kind of make this work, just in terms of putting it together.
I'm curious, it's also an outsider's film in some respects. It's a film about a Jewish family in a very Catholic country. It's a film about a gay man in a macho society. How much did that enter into your conception of the film?
Well,
or conception of yourself, perhaps.
Well, one of the things that we were talking about the first scene, I think that the people is not usual accustomed to see that kind of bodies, mostly the straight men. So it's more shocking for them. And then here there's a lot, in Buenos Aires, there's a lot of Jewish families. We are like 200,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So it's like very normal families, that kind of traditional family. There's no Orthodox or there's no very religious. So, I mean, it's one more family than another. But I didn't want to introduce a lot of in the religion, because, I mean, if you see a movie of Christmas, you don't say it's a Catholic family. you know, it just happened
It's
with
just a family. Yeah. Okay.
yes,
Right. That's
so. A lot of people say it's a Jewish film. It's a Jewish film. Okay, it's a film. I don't know. They are Jewish, but when you see about a Christmas family, you don't say it's a Christian film.
It's a fair point. It is a really fair point. Yeah, yeah. No, I
mean, it's the word that I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, right. And you have to write from what you know, right?
Yes. I prefer to write about the things that I know. Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm not decide to make like I will do a Jewish story.
Right.
Because I don't know what that means.
Right. Well, at the same time, I mean, is any Woody Allen film a Jewish film specifically, or is it, you know, it's just part of
who he is?
That part of who the, yes, exactly, yeah.
Yes.
How has the film, so the film has been released in Argentina, right?
Yes.
How has it been received there?
Well, it was like 4 months in the cinema. Like, yes, in November we started, like, I think that November 7, and we finished like April, beginning of March. It was like a lot of time for an Argentinian movie to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's most like mouth to mouth. I don't know how to say.
Word of mouth.
Oh, word of mouth, mouth to mouth.
The success.
Yes,
the success of the film is it's a word of mouth success.
Yes, it's spread right, like fire. Yes, yes.
And it was in cinemas, and then in the platform, like every movie now. Mm-hmm. So, I heard everything. I heard people that love the film and others that hate the film. Of course, I understand the people that hate the film more than they love.
Why do you say that?
Nah, because I think that the people they used to look another kind of movies. I mean, my film is in Disney, so you have like films from Marvel.
There are no superheroes, right? Yes.
No, but even as a comedy, it's not like necessarily like other comedies.
Yes.
Well, there's a lot of people that doesn't understand as a comedy. They just think that it's a drama. Or there's a lot of people that say, I wanted to laugh and I finished crying. So for me, it's a nice surprise. It is. Because something happened to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I love the film. I can say, you know, with
unequivocally,
and I was very moved by it. So really, it really hits you in the heart, and in a way that. You know, something perhaps more sitcom or more funny or just sort of trying to be funny wouldn't. Because again, it's so honest, and the characters are so recognizable and quirky. So that's what I love about what you did. I mean, but I understand how people would come in and be confused, I guess, because it's subtle, it's smart, and it's not trying to be something. I guess. So, I mean, the question. So now it did very well in Argentina, and so now it's rolling out. What's the plan in terms of what for the rest of the world?
Of the film?
For the film, yeah.
Well, the movie, the premiere of the movie was in the Cannes Film Festival in Cannes, in the acid section, and then it was like in San Sebastian and Sao Paulo. I think that Montreal, no, another place in Canada. It was in Cuba. It was in a lot of places.
But it's been playing theatrically in Argentina, and it's going to be opening in Europe next?
Yes, in Italy, in Spain, in France, next month. Yes, now it begins like the commercial thing, like for all the people. Before that, it was traveling in festivals and that stuff. But now are the very the real premiere. I mean, in USA,
Right. I think it's opening in New York on May 2nd, and here in Los Angeles on May 9th, and hopefully rolling out to other cities across the United States following that.
Yeah, and critically, I mean, I read wonderful reviews about the film, so I'm certain you're going to get a whole new wave of that when you come to the States. Yeah, yeah.
I hope.
Yeah.
I want to go, but I had to go to France first of all.
Yes, yes.
Understandable. If I had a choice, I might do that as well.
Yeah.
And then the next film?
Well, I'm writing now, and I think that it will be like very different to this one, and I'm very happy with the new one. But I had to wait first, finish the script, and then start to look for the money and all that stuff.
Well, hopefully that part will be easier on the next one.
Yeah. Is it something that you're going to act in as well?
I think yes, because it's a story that I love very much, and I don't want to give the story to anybody.
Understood.
So I prefer to, yes.
Yes. Can I just ask you about this, just because in terms of the idea of being in a scene and then directing the scene, you know, it's extremely difficult to be on both sides of the camera for some people, and clearly, obviously, you figured that out. But I mean, also, you must have a DP that you trust, or someone. Do you have a set of eyes on the other side of the camera who's helping kind of give you input, or how do you do that? I guess.
Well, I have my DOP, Giovanni Cimarosti from Italy. I have a very good ID. And also, like a friend of mine, who she's director, Mariana Sanguinetti, who used to help. Like, you can do another, and you can change something, and it was fine. I mean, and also the time, and we had to go from here, and sometimes it was like the real last scene, last take. I mean. For me, it's the only way that I know, like acting and directing myself, and I learn in that way, and sometimes as I told you, I had to trust, because there's no time to put playback again, and the camera doesn't work, and I mean, I had to trust. I feel the scene good inside, and I'm happy with this. And then if there's some technical stuff that you have to fix, it's like, okay, just tell me, but I trust. Mm-hmm. It's the only thing that I can say.
It's just, you just go with your instinct. You go right. You follow.
You're gonna have to try it on. You're gonna have to try it someday, Rafael.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's built for certain people, and I don't know that I could do both.
But I think that if you don't trust in yourself, nobody will. So it's the most important thing. To be a captain of a movie. I mean, you have to be very psychopath to make a movie with all the team and with everyone. So you have to trust. So they will trust in you.
That's great. That's great. That's great.
The film is Most People Die on Sundays. Again, it's opening in New York on May 2nd, in Los Angeles here at the Royal Theater. We're going to be right inside this auditorium on May 9th. And figure out when it's coming to your community.
This is a word of mouth movie. This is going to be, people are going to see it and go, you got to see this movie. So it's definitely, it may come in quiet, but I bet it roars, because it just sticks with you. I've thought about it so much since I've watched it. So I'm so happy to talk to you. Thanks for taking this time and
thank you very much.
About it. And I just wish.
Sorry about my English. I tried to make the best.
No, you did great.
No, you did great.
You did great, and with your cold and everything else, you did great. Thank you. Appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
Happy Passover coming up. I hope you get to celebrate with your family.
Gracias.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on Inside the Art House. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, please subscribe, please share information, especially about this film. It really is something special, and I think something that audiences are going to need some help discovering.
Yeah.
So that's why we're here. And thank you for joining us on Inside the Art House.
See you next time.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Our show was produced by Raphael Sparge with on-site producer Noreen Dickerson. Supervising producers are Miles McCreary and Thomas Cassetta. Our show was edited by Gabriel Lemon. and mixed by Thomas Cassetta. Our musical theme was composed by Isabel Engman and Gerardo Garcia Jr. Marketing by Gabriel Lumley. Show graphics by Jenna DeAngelis, and show open edited by Rick Pratt. Filmed at the historic Lumley Royal Theater in Los Angeles, California. See you next time on Inside the Art House. If you like today's show, please consider subscribing to our channel to hear more on Inside the Art House.